Hello everyone! Today we're going to be covering how I animated the movements in Pumpkin Punch. So first up, I've already put all of the clip art into the program through the file import option. So you click add files and just select the files that you want to add. And then I'm going to make sure I have my background set. So for Pumpkin Punch we used a moving background like this one. This was the Pumpkin Punch background. So to make it work, this one loops really easily and you just copy and paste it until you have enough background. So we're not going to do the whole video, so I'm just going to do about a minute's worth here. And then I actually went in and changed the color through the color adjustments tool, this little circle here, and then advanced color adjustment. And I don't remember exactly what I did for Pumpkin Punch, but I just kind of play around with things until I get what I want. So there we go. And there's some green. So there's Pumpkin Punch's background. Once you've got your background set, then you're going to drag your clips down. So let's start with our pumpkin, and we're going to set up the pumpkin movement. So it tries to jump down here, but we're going to drag it up as an overlay so that it comes on top of the background that we have set up. Now I like to leave it as the big overlay, and then I'll go into animation. We're going to go to the beginning of the clip, of the piece here, and then add animation. And it's going to add 2 points. So we're going to start with the first point, and I'm going to shrink the pumpkin, center it, and shrink it a little more, and rotate it so that it spins in. Then I'll test it. So, oh, it spun in. Now it's a little big, so I'm going to make it smaller. Like that. And then I want it to stay for a moment, so we're going to go ahead and create a new point of animation, or they call it a keyframe. So I can add keyframe, or I use the shortcut Control T. So we'll add our keyframe here, and then we want to add another so that the pumpkin flies out of the frame. So when something gets further away, it gets smaller. So I'm going to shrink it a little bit and toss it out of the frame there. So here the pumpkin spins in, and then boom, it pops out. So to add the extra animation over top for the punch, okay, so we're going to drag the punch down here on the overlay as well. And then I don't animate the punch. I just do it really short so that it just pops in. For this particular thing, I didn't animate the punch anyway. For some games, I do animate the punch, or the kick. So here it is, and then boom, there's the punch. That punch is a little big. So we're going to go here, we're going to double click it, and go to our overlay tool, and then picture in picture, and we're going to put it right on the pumpkin there. So that when it pops in, it will pop in on the pumpkin. And I'm going to make it just a tiny bit shorter so that it times with the pumpkin flying out of the screen. So, oh, that was not centered. Let's fix that. So I just center everything up, and you just kind of move things around until it's where you want it. A lot of the games I make, it's trial and error. Sometimes I'll make an animation, I hate it, trash it, don't use it. But other times it works out great. So I still want this a tiny bit shorter. And then we're going to add our effects. So in this program, there are effects or stickers, and some of the stickers are animated already. So we're going to go, I used the Happy Splashes pack for the effects in Pumpkin Punch. And I used this poof here. So the way I fix the poof, because you'll notice it's going to poof like a bunch. And in this program, I haven't found a way to, because when I cut it, it actually just makes it shorter and go do all those poofs really fast. So the only thing I have found to do is to animate it and make it disappear after the first poof. So I just drag that last animation, make it completely clear, and then drag it up there so that it ends. Let's see if that works. Oof, kind of. We're going to move it a little bit. Make this a little bit longer. And there it is. So now I'll test it all out together. like that. And then you add your text, just like we did in Fire Dodge. So I'm going to add my simple text here. Move it up here. Oop, oop. I don't remember if Pumpkin Punch has it at the top or the bottom. I feel like they're in different places for different moves. So punch, and then we test it again, all of it together. Punch, like that. And I think I want the punch to last a little longer. You can also fade out the punch and make it animated as well. So the word up there can be animated so that it fades out a little smoother instead of just popping in. So to animate that, I would add an animation. I'm going to drag that to the very end, and then make that point opaque or see-through, right, where you can't see it. So it's going to fade out at the end instead of just disappearing, like that. You could do that same thing at the beginning where it fades in to make it a little smoother. You just kind of play around with it and make it do what you want. So there's the Pumpkin Punch. And then in Pumpkin Punch, we also have these webs. So for the webs, all of the wording, you can just repeat that exactly the same. So I'm not going to go over how to do the words again. So I'm going to add animation points for this one. Now, you can also go through the animation tool here, add animation. So I can drag these points wherever I want them. I'm going to start this one small, over here in the corner, like this. There we go. And then you can even make it a little fading in. And then I'm going to make the second one here. And it's going to smoothly animate it from one position to the other. And I think for this one I have it go like big, like that. Let's see what that looks like. Wait, let's trim it. So there's the spider web to dodge, like that. So that's a simple way to do it. For Pumpkin Punch, my animation is a little smoother, and I think I have it set up so that it zooms in. Let's actually take that off. So we're going to make that fully visible. And I think it kind of like slides back out at the end, like that. So it's just a little smoother and it doesn't just disappear, like that. And then you would add your arrows. So I'm going to go here. You could also use any clip art arrow to pop in, or fade out. But this program comes with a great one under Sketches called the Gradient Arrow. And you can color it whatever color you like. So I think for this one we're going to do it black. And then I would add my text. So for me, I'm going to just go ahead and copy this punch text so that they all match in some manner. And dodge. And then we test it, and we're going to adjust from there. So if I don't like it, so like the gradient arrow lasts way too long, we're going to drag that out of there and shorten all that up, and then test it again. And there we go. We could make that drag out longer at the end, or we could make it faster. Ta-da! There's your dodge. Now, the bat, I think, was probably the trickiest one that I did for Pumpkin Punch. The bat kind of goes up and down over as it goes over, so it looks more like a bat actually flapping across and not just like sliding across. So I'm going to shrink it here, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the end movement of it over here. So the easiest way to do a duck is just to have something slide across the top, like that. So we could duck the bat, but you can see that just doesn't have the same effect as the little flap that I did on it. So I'm going to add another point here with Control T, and then I'm going to make it go down on that one, and then we're going to do another point about here, make it go up, and then I just kind of space those out a little bit and make it go up and down to give it a little more character than just sliding across there. So then it flaps across. So you would just repeat this for any of your movements you want to do. For the ghost, it pops in from the side. So I just set it up over to the side for the first point, and then it kind of peeks in here, And then after you hit it at this point, it's gonna go away. And then I also added some effects over it and the kick motion, just like I did the punch here. So now to add some sound effects, let's see. Oh, I don't have my sound effects in here. Let me drag those in real quick. Okay, so I've got the sound effect that goes with the pumpkin, and I'm just gonna drag it down here. And then I try to time up the music, the sound spike that you can see down here with the actual action up here. And then again, I test it. If it doesn't sound right, then I try again. Perfect, just like that. And then you would repeat that for every other movement. So for the bat, I had some sort of wing flap sound, and I actually repeated that on each little bounce it does. So I copied and redid that there. And then for the ghost, I have some sort of kick or like noise. That's pretty much it for pumpkin punch. I know there's a cat too, but I do the same thing that I do with the bat without the bumps. I just set it up on one side and then it walks across. There are other things you can do to continue improving this type of animation, but it really just takes a lot of time and patience, and try again. Thanks for watching. See you next time.